हेलो एवरीवन, आज हम बात करेंगे लेक्चर नंबर 7 में रिगार्डिंग द न्यूमेरिकल विच वी लेफ्ट एज अ डिस्कशन इन द लास्ट पार्ट. ओके, सो आई गेव यू ए न्यूमेरिकल देयर टू कंप्यूट दिस. ओके, सो प्लीज have a look on that electric field is given to you. This is a very wonderful example and this is 20 meter square. By doing this example you can calculate any question. Okay, that is xy plane, yz plane, zx plane. I have taken this because through this you will be able to have or to know the direction of the area vector. You know the formula phi equals to E vector dot ds vector, and if this is a vector you must know the direction of it. Okay, so let me write it. E vector is 20 I cap plus 30 j cap. Okay, and this ds vector is, 20 is given, magnitude is given, that is 20, but what is the direction? This direction is xy plane. xy plane आपने लिया है तो उस प्लेन के परपेंडिकुलर कौन सी डायरेक्शन होती है? z direction, and that is represented by 20 k cap. So in this way you will put the values of two vectors here, and when you calculate it, I cap, j cap, k cap, that does mean that 20 I cap plus 30 j cap, 20 k cap, I cap and k cap, j cap and k cap, these three unit vectors are perpendicular to each other and they will have the dot product 0, so that whole expression will be 0. So for xy plane, area vector is in direction. In the similar way, phi is E dot ds, that means let me take it directly, 20 I cap plus 30 j cap, and this is 20. Now yz plane, yz plane does mean the area vector will be perpendicular to this. This is y, this is z, and the area vector will be perpendicular to this, that means it is x, so I cap. And then third is phi is 20 I cap plus 30 j cap, and this is what it is, 20 zx, so j cap, and you can calculate it, it will come out as 400 volt meter, and this is 600 volt meter. I'm giving you the answer. Okay, now in this video we will be having a discussion over the Gauss theorem. Okay, we are marching to the end of this module, and the last topic is Gauss theorem. We will understand the Gauss theorem. We will take the examples regarding to this. This is very important. I have taken many examples there. Just wait for a few minutes, and then in the next module we will be having a discussion over electrostatic potential. Most probably this is the last lecture, or the next lecture may be the last. Okay, so the Gauss theorem is what actually it is. It needs a Gaussian surface. That does mean, suppose you are having this charge, suppose this is a point charge, this the tip of the pencil is the charge or the point charge. Okay, it says that we have to draw a closed surface around that charge, and जितना चार्ज उस क्लोज सरफेस के अंदर एनक्लोज्ड होगा उसका 1/ε0 टाइम्स आपका फ्लक्स होता है. यानी कि अभी आपने फ्लक्स के बारे में पढ़ा कि नंबर ऑफ फिल लाइंस, right, in a closed surface or on the surface which you are taking, passing through that surface. It is giving you an idea how to calculate that. It gives you idea that you draw the closed surface around that charge, and the shape of that Gaussian surface will be accordingly the distribution of the charge. Whether it is linear, then it will be cylindrical. If it is point, then it is spherical. So many Gaussian surfaces or the closed surfaces can be drawn. But please understand the idea that Gauss theorem is always when there is the charge given to you and you draw a closed surface around that. So जितना भी चार्ज उस सरफेस में enclosed होगा उसका 1/ε0 टाइम्स, यानी कि जितना चार्ज उसमें enclosed है उसका 1/ε0 टाइम्स आपका क्या होता है, फ्लक्स. और फ्लक्स का फॉर्मूला आपने E dot ds पढ़ा है. I'm putting my efforts, guys, for giving you a very simplified data, simplified content. Okay, only questions are not enough for any competitive exams. You see that on YouTube and on any platform the questions are there. Questions are very important, I agree with that, but with that you have to have very clear crystal concepts within your mind. Fine. So these are the efforts regarding that. So important points are, the Gauss theorem holds for any closed surface regardless of the shape and size, not for the open surface. कभी भी open surface नहीं होनी चाहिए, आपको उस चार्ज के चारों तरफ closed surface बनानी है. closed surface की shape मायने नहीं रखती, हर closed surface के लिए आपका Gauss law लग सकता है. Condition applied, there must be charge enclosed in it. Okay, and if it is not, then the formula will be giving you the zero answer definitely. Okay. So the first point is the Gauss theorem holds for any cross surface regardless of the shape and size. It is not applicable for the open surfaces. Now the Gaussian surface should not pass through the charge which you are taking, but it can pass through the continuous charge distribution. Suppose you are taking a charge here और आपने कहा कि सर मैंने इसके चारों तरफ तो ऐसे मैंने Gaussian surface बना दिया, लेकिन ये Gaussian surface की जो बाउंड्री है they are passing through the charge. So this is not possible. So in this law it is defined, these are the conditions that the Gaussian surface which you are drawing should not pass through that charge, but it can pass through the continuous charge distribution, like when you take the sphere, and in that case this Gaussian surface can be drawn here. So that was the second point. Then after, I have taken the numericals here, how to calculate it, how to apply the Gauss theorem to calculate the flux of any system. I have given you the three closed surfaces S1, S2 and S3, and some charges are enclosed in it, like in this way, the Q1, Q2, Q4, like this, which whatever it is given to you. This is phi S1. If I calculate the flux through this surface, you have to consider only this surface and how much charge is included in it. This is how much it is, Q1, Q6 minus Q5, okay, and plus Q1 minus Q6 minus Q5 and divided by epsilon naught. That will be your answer. Then S2 is Q3, Q4, Q5. Okay, so these charges are enclosed in it. That means Q4 minus Q3 plus Q5 divided by epsilon naught. This is your answer. Okay, I'm not writing, I'm just giving you an idea. This is very simple. And in third case, how many charges are there? Q4 is there, Q5 is there, Q6 is there, Q7 is there. So you will write at Q4 plus Q6 plus Q7 minus Q5 and divided by epsilon naught. Fine. So this will be the flux through the surface S3. So that was a simple diagram, and I hope you learned that how to apply that Q by epsilon naught. That Q is charge enclosed in the closed surface, and individually you are taking the closed surfaces here, that is S1, S2 and S3. Okay. Now question number 2 is, in this case phi AB is given to you for this arc. It is giving you an idea that through this surface, इस surface पे जब इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड लाइंस जो आप निकाल रहे हो, राइट, वो क्या है, वो फाई दिया हुआ है आपको, उसका मैग्नेटिक द इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स इज गिवन टू यू, दैट इज फाई, बट इट इज आस्किंग यू व्हाट इज द electric, I have drawn the diagram here. The Q charge is there in the closed surface. For this Q charge, this sphere is a Gaussian surface, and for this surface, that part AB is given with that this is having the flux phi. But now the examiner is asking you that what is the electric flux for the remaining part. So first of all, you have to calculate the complete electric flux of that surface. That means for the remaining part, it is very simple. You can judge that it is Q by epsilon naught according to Gauss law. But out of that, if this AB, phi is a scalar quantity, you can directly minus it. Okay, so minus phi. So when you subtract the flux of the AB part from the flux of the whole sphere, that means you are left with the remaining part. So this is your answer. Okay, then third question is, this is taken as the distribution of the charge, like suppose it is like this. Okay, like this, but I have considered the charge distribution at this point, and that is Q. And now the examiner is asking you by giving that for the bottom surface, that's the circle part, okay, it is phi. But what about the curved surface? Then how will you calculate that? First of all, you have to have the electric flux of the complete part, that is Q by epsilon naught, okay, Q by epsilon naught. But you are given with that this part is having phi and this part is having also phi, so it means 2 phi. जब आप पूरे में से इन दो सर्कल जो सर्फेसेस हैं, बॉटम सर्फेसेस हैं और जो टॉप सर्फेस है, इनके लिए निकालेंगे, that will be 2 phi and Q by epsilon naught minus 2 phi will be your flux for the cylinder, for the curved surface, phi curved, okay, phi curved. So this is your answer. In the next case, question number 4, this is a very wonderful question. What it is, देखिए यहां क्या करेंगे आप, जो चार्ज आपने लिया है Q वो यहां लिया है, राइट, लेकिन अगर आप इस Q के अबाउट अगर आपने सरफेस बनाई दी क्लोज्ड, जैसे अभी इसने क्या बनाया है, इसने सिलेंड्रिकल सरफेस बनाया है. मैंने कहा कि सिलेंड्रिकल सरफेस, सॉरी गॉसियन सरफेस कैन बी ऑफ एनी शेप, ओके, बट यू हैव टू हैव the enclosure of that charge. Is it the only way to enclose this charge? No. Why? Because you can draw a similar Gaussian surface above that, okay, and in this way this charge can also be enclosed. So first of all, you have to draw the possible Gaussian surface around that charge which are closed, and then you will represent the electric flux कि कितना है, फिर कहेंगे कि इस सिलेंडर के लिए कितना है. तो सबसे पहले तो आप गॉसियन सरफेसेस बनाइए कि कितनी पॉसिबल है, कितनी गॉसियन सरफेसेस से हमारा चार्ज एनक्लोज्ड होगा, जैसा कि मैं क्यूब वाले पार्ट में डिस्कस करूंगा, डोंट वरी. बट टिल देन please have an idea that when charge is given to you, the step number 1 for solving the numerical is please draw the Gaussian surfaces which are possible around that charge, which surfaces are enclosing that, and after that you write the electric flux for the whole system. So now I have drawn one similar Gaussian surface above that, that means phi system that is of two cylindrical Gaussian surfaces, okay. तो कितना आएगा, Q by epsilon naught, जितना सारा surfaces से enclosed है Q, और ये Q by epsilon naught. लेकिन अभी आपसे पूछा है phi सिलेंडर बताइए, अगर दो का Q by epsilon naught है तो एक का कितना होगा, Q by 2 epsilon naught. So this is Q by 2 epsilon naught. I hope I made my point clear. Okay, these are very simple. आप लोगों ने देखा होगा कि बच्चों को बहुत प्रॉब्लम आती है टू विजुअलाइज दैट, लेकिन मैंने आपको स्टेप्स बताए हैं कि क्या करना है. पहले पूरे सिस्टम के लिए लिखना है, फिर पूछेगा किसी एक के लिए, सिलेंडर के लिए पूछा है तो कितना बचा है, यहाँ 3 होते, 4 होते, 5 होते. जैसे मैं किसी क्यूब के कॉर्नर पे रखूंगा दैट विल बी शेयर्ड, एंड एज पे रखूंगा दैट विल बी शेयर्ड, ओके. सो यू कंसिडर योर रूम, that will be discussed in the cube part, okay. Till then please have an idea that how to calculate when the charge is given. So first of all you have to draw that how many Gaussian surfaces can be drawn, and then you put the answer as a system, that is Q by epsilon naught, and then see what the examiner is asking, the phi cylinder, and that is Q by 2 epsilon naught. So this is your answer. Fine. Now next case is phi L. मैंने आपके सामने एक पॉइंट लिखा था कि उसको शेप से कोई लेना देना नहीं है, ओके. ये पूछ रहा है कि अगर ये जो फाई एल है इस लेंथ के लिए अगर ये फाई है तो इस L by 4 के लिए कितना होगा. ये कहेगा ये फाई L by 4 के लिए कितना होगा, ये फाई ही होगा, क्योंकि ये किसी शेप साइज पे डिपेंड नहीं करता, ओके. शेप पे डिपेंड नहीं करता. सो यहाँ पे जब आप लिखेंगे, मैंने आपके सामने लिखा था इरेस्पेक्टिव ऑफ द शेप it is depending upon the shape, but in this case, as in the case of cylinder, you take the two cylinders and you put the value q by epsilon naught. That means the contribution will be same. Okay, so contribution will be same. That means phi L by 4 will also having value phi. Okay, then it is given to you that a straight wire of linear charge density, please put the stars over this question. Okay, a straight wire of linear charge density is passing through an imaginary cube. Okay, but what the examiner is asking, without giving anything, it is asking you calculate the maximum possible flux. Okay, so सबसे पहले तो आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि को पेंसिल को ये लाइन ही ली है इसने एक तरीके से लीनियर चार्ज डेंसिटी, तो कहेगा कि इसके चारों तरफ इसने गॉसियन सरफेस बना दी क्यूब। लेकिन अब ये जो लाइन है ये क्यूब का कौन सा पार्ट है, ये क्यूब का कौन सा पार्ट, आपने डायगनली रखा है, ऐसे रखा है, डायगनली फिर ऐसे रखा है, डायगनली तो एक ही बात हो गई, ऐसे रखा है या ऐसे रखा है। ओके, सो आपको सबसे पहले ये समझना है कि यार ये मैक्सिमम कब होगा, ये जो मैक्सिमम कब होगा, ये मैक्सिमम तब होगा जब आप इसको डायगनली पुट करेंगे। दिस इज अ गॉसियन surface and you know that this Gaussian surface is imaginary surface which is drawn around the charge to enclose it so that we could apply the Gauss law, imaginary surface. So now I have told you that maximum possible flux will be there for the cube when it is kept in a way that it is diagonally placed. Okay, and you know that diagonal of the cube is root 3a. Diagonal of cube is root 3a. Why I am calculating root 3a? Okay, because when you are calculating E dot ds, q by epsilon naught will be there and line charge density is given to you. लाइन चार्ज डेंसिटी गिवन टू यू एंड यू से, एक बात ध्यान रखना, अगर मैं इस लाइन को बाहर निकाल देता तो आपको ये बाहर वाला कंसीडर नहीं करना, जितना उस सरफेस के अंदर है सिर्फ उतना ही कंसीडर करना है। लेकिन अभी हमने क्या लिया है, हमने कहा है कि जो लाइन चार्ज डेंसिटी जो है वो लाइन चार्ज डेंसिटी आपने डायगोनल के अलोंग लिया है, और डायगोनल के अलोंग जब आप लेते हैं तो क्या होता है, जो लैम्डा बनता है वो बनता है क्यू बाय एल, और जो ये एल है, ये एल क्या है, कितनी लेंथ है, ये कितनी लेंथ के लिए डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है, उस डायगोनल के लिए। ओके, बिकॉज लाइन चार्ज डेंसिटी इज गिवन टू यू, सो लैम्डा इज क्यू बाय एल, यू विल पुट इट रूट 3a, सो लैम्डा इज क्यू बाय रूट 3a एंड नाउ वी आर expecting the value of q as root 3a lambda. Okay, root 3a by lambda. Then what is the answer for the flux? Flux is E dot ds, but E dot ds we are not having, that means it is q by epsilon naught, and what is the value of q? That is root 3a lambda by epsilon naught. So this is your answer. Okay, then the next question is, in the same question that is asking you that if one end of the wire is kept at the center, then what will be the maximum, the minimum values of the flux? One end does mean यहाँ तक, मतलब सिर्फ इतना आपने रख दिया, तो ये कितना बना, इतना डिस्टेंस, रूट 3a by 2. सो फॉर मैक्सिमम डायगनली प्लेस्ड करेंगे आप, डायगनली प्लेस्ड and length inside the cube will be root 3a by 2. सिर्फ इतना ही तो अंदर है ना, अब एक एंड इधर रख दिया आपने तो बाकी तो बाहर निकल गई, तो ये वाला तो कंसीडर करना नहीं है, सो रूट 3a by 2 आपको कंसीडर करना है। सो रूट 3a by 2 आप कंसीडर करेंगे, और ये आने के बाद आप अपना लैम्डा लिख सकते हो q बाय रूट 3a बाय 2. सो यहाँ से q लिख सकते हो और q को q बाय एप्सिलॉन नॉट में पुट कर सकते हो, फ्लक्स आ जाएगा एंड दैट विल बी द मैक्सिमम. सो q विल बी रूट 3a बाय 2 इंटू लैम्डा, फाइन, एंड द फ्लक्स विल बी रूट 3 लैम्डा a बाय 2 divided by epsilon naught. This is very similar to this case. Root 3a lambda by epsilon naught. This become root 3a by 2 now. क्लियर है? अभी आपको पूछ रहा है कि मिनिमम बताइए. मिनिमम कब होगा? मिनिमम तो तभी होगा वन एंड एट द सेंटर, जब वो ऐसे पुट होगा. ओके, और वन एंड एट द सेंटर वो कितनी लेंथ बचेगी? अभी यहां आप इसको कैसे रखेंगे, मैं ड्रॉ कर देता हूं. Okay, so you will keep this as this is a center and you will place this like this. Okay, and this will be a by 2 because the complete dimension of this is a. So this is a by 2 now. So for minimum this is a by 2. So lambda equals to q by a by 2, and when you calculate it, this is minimum is a lambda by 2 epsilon naught. This is the answer. तो वो कितना आया था? रूट 3a बाई 2 lambda by epsilon naught, और ये कितना आया है? a lambda by 2 epsilon naught. आई होप इट इज क्लियर टू यू. किसी भी डायरेक्शन में पुट करे आपको लैम्डा सिग्मा कुछ भी दे देगा. ठीक है, सॉलिड देता तो यहाँ पे डेफिनेटली वॉल्यूम आ जाता, वॉल्यूम चार्ज डेंसिटी आ जाती, सरफेस के लिए सरफेस चार्ज डेंसिटी आ जाती. इन द सिमिलर वे यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट क्यू फर्स्ट, और क्यू वही कंसिडर करना है जो सरफेस के अंदर है. चाहे ये पेंसिल कितनी भी लंबी हो, अगर मैं सिर्फ यहाँ तक इसको एक सरफेस में इनक्लोज करता हूँ तो इसके जो ये वाले पार्ट हैं ये कंसीडर नहीं करे जाएंगे. ठीक है, सो दैट वाज द केस. प्लीज रिवाइज दैट, वॉच द वीडियोज विच वी हैव पोस्टेड. ओके, एंड प्लीज डू शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब. Please do comment if you have any problem, okay, or any suggestion from your side. Till then, thank you very much. Goodbye.